If you zoom in a bit, you can see they have some kind of people mover train system, just like they do in the Angrignon Park. They have the little trails through the woods, but you have the wider trail. See, there you go. There's a wonderful thumbnail, emblematic of Angrignon Park. And you can see the little trails that go through the woods, but I'm going to stick to the main public trails on this one. Oh, actually, let's divert in here for a moment. So there's a little squirrel, there's a little picture. Yeah, let's just divert in here briefly. I mean, I figure be on my way by noon. Have to get my gas before I leave Quebec, because you don't want to risk that 318 kilometer range is not enough, because remember, you still have to double back from Point Claire slightly to get to the Hobby Club meeting. Wow, it's a lot brighter on my phone than it is to my eye in here. But you see the difference between the Montreal and the Petawawa is there's no pine trees, there's no spruce trees here, just maples. Yeah. So this is something we didn't do in 2020. We didn't take a little trail through the woods like this. We stayed on the public trails then. And of course, in 2020 I wasn't vlogging yet, so all I got were pictures. Now, of course, every so often on these trails you find a way to get out of the woods again, so that's what I'm going to do now, and get a picture of this nice archway that reveals the park just like that. There you go, boom. Okay, so come out now. And you see the park benches, and you see the trail, and you see, I guess, the river. So I hope I'm in the right area. I seem to have reached an almost dead end here, haven't I? Yes, I have. Because I came from over there. Going this way, there doesn't seem to be anything. I'll find out for sure. Coming through this park kind of reminds me a bit of some of the parks in Hamilton that my dad and I used to go to in the 80s, nearly 40 years ago. And of course, Hamilton's another place I want to get to once I move to Wasaga Beach at the end of this month. I mean, I still have 15 days of annual leave left. Christmas usually only uses 6 of them, so we'll see how much they make me use before you get to Christmas. Now, I do see a bit of a trail up here, so hopefully I'm able to loop around and get to the other side of that river. I hope I'm not ending up way far out of range. So if there's no bridge, I'm going to have to backtrack. I don't remember from 20 years ago how it worked. I mean, 4 years ago. Alright, if you look through the trees, might get a better view a little further on. You'll be able to see that there are park benches at the far end. And so if we go this way, we'll get to the far end of the river and find a river crossing, like a bridge or something. But in the meantime, here is the river, the Angrignon Park River. Yeah, that's kind of neat. It's weird to see rocks on the trail here when you're not in the Canadian Shield and you're surrounded by coniferous trees only. I mean, deciduous. Oh dear. Look at this. How deep in does the river go before you get to a point where you can actually access? You see, all right, let's try not to fall in. I'm holding the phone in my left hand. So if I fall in the water, the phone stays on the rocks. Oh, well, look, based on that cove, you're not that far. Just go along the trail. This is kind of like, weirdly enough, this is like a river-based version of the Aerators landscape grass rock trail. Don't worry, that last photo, which had my finger at the left side, that'll be cropped. And I mean, yeah, this will be fun. I'll take the whole loop and I'll try to find a way through the trails back to my car. But, there is a good view. This is like the one I saw the Martian 2011 at Washington, D.C. And then after I saw that marsh, after I went to see the movie, I went to the National Mall. I found myself one lane wide between some concrete freeway dividers at a red light. And then an ambulance came up behind me with all its sirens and stuff on. So I had to break the law and turn on a red light left to get out of his way. Here you go. Now you're coming around the cove. Okay, that's good then. But hey, I had to make way for the emergency vehicle and I was stuck in a one lane only, so I guess that superseded the red light in that instance. Alright, so just keep taking the trail. I mean, this is something I never did in 2020. This Riverside Edge experience, so that's quite something. So that takes you down to the riverside, so you just keep going this way and hopefully we get to the bridge. Take a few pictures en route. We're getting close to the end of the trail now, and where you can actually, hopefully, connect to the river bridge or trail. Like, it's just over there. So that's a relief. You just have to make your way towards it. Here's a picture. Here we go. Here we go. Going along the trail so you can see the lily pads and the rest of the park and everything, so we can make our way around the river that way. Yep, I'd done all the stuff at the Aerators landscape, got all the video I needed, and then I realized, wait a minute, the park I didn't discover until September of 20, the first month after I moved away from Montreal, is the park I will finish with once I move out of driving range from Montreal. And we're going to take another picture of the park location sign to compare where we are now to where we were when we were at the car. And then just figure out what we have to do now. Alright, so here's the updated sign as to our current position. Oh, is it all zoomed out all the way? Yeah. Well, it is now. Alright, so there you are. So at the edge, although there's a little tree grove, which I will explore, and then you'll make your way. I'm going to stick to the paved blue trail from now on and come all the way around to my parking lot area, which was near that big field. Well, those are the woods, actually. Okay, so now I go over here. This looks familiar. I think that's where I was before. But just before that, I'm going to go up here. Sounds like some kind of tiny waterfall or something, which I did not see the last time, so this is getting a better view of everything. There you go. There you go. Here's the willow tree. There you are. And below the willow tree. And then take the trail along, the paved trail this time, and see where we end up. There's side trails that can get me back towards the mall, which I might stop at next. We're approaching an outer gate of the park, and you can see the updated location sign, although this one is tagged, of course. But you see where we are. So now we can take the yellow trail around or reverse our course. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Reverse the blue trail and get closer to the river. And of course, here it is from the other direction from which we came, but we'll go this way. Alright, so you can see some of the landscape here. That's quite beautiful. Yeah, keep the big tree trunk in the background. There you go. Now we're a little further this way than I was in September of 20. But I think we're approaching another open park field, so that should help. Or maybe some kind of campsite area. Oh yeah, there you go. That's probably the yellow trail right over there by the playground, which you can see through the trees. Get a better view when I get out there. There's the playground now. And the grove and field nearby. See how the trail loops in again. So I'm going to try to go out over there where the runner came from. Out over there. Alright, here we are on the trail. And you can see the trails through the woods, of course. You know what? I think this trail has accidentally led me to another entrance or exit from the park right by a neighborhood. So I am going to have to backtrack and go through the campground. Yes, I came driving through here trying to look for the entrance. And it didn't work. But let's see if we can go through here and get where we want to go. Yeah, I distinctly remember that no cars sign too, except authorized vehicles. I ran across a red truck that was an authorized vehicle, did come through. Ah, here we go, see? There you go. Aim for the field and go from there. And hopefully we'll get back to the car at noon. And then we can rush over to the Point Claire Plaza, check the antique shop and Ted's Hobby Shop one last time, use the washroom, get the gas near the Walmart on the way to the final Hobby Club meeting for, let's be honest, this calendar year. Because once I move to Borden, I will be out of range. And there's the field through the trees. So we want to just cut this way now, because otherwise we get to the road and you don't want that. You want to get into the park and get to the blue trail near the river. The river is the defining feature of the park. Look, park washrooms in there, where I might be able to fill my water bottle as well. And you know, since we're about halfway through the phone's allotted memory for this video, I'm gonna... Ooh, look at that! You have a choice, left or right, oh my goodness. I think I'll go that way. If this washroom building is successful. We're going to find out in a minute. Because that looks like an entire parking lot in itself. The washrooms are all closed and locked, but at least there's a drinking fountain where I can refill my water bottle. This is the beginning of part 2 of Angrignon Park, by the way. Get that, the drinking fountain looks pretty, but it's non-functional. No response when I push the button. So I'll walk along the trail here and we'll see where we end up. You can see what lies ahead. Alright, we're through the parking lot and we're approaching another park. Here's where you are sign. And this one, thankfully, is not covered in graffiti. And I think after I look at this park sign, I'm going to cut across the trail a bit and try and get deeper in over there. Just for fun. Look, there's a trail across the little river. Just don't end up on the wrong side of the trail. I think it's time to... I will get a picture though. Under the tree, there you go. Picture of the bridge. And a picture of the sign again, marking our current position. So as you can see, we're here now. So we're on the yellow trail. That's the very outermost trail. I'm going to cut in a bit that way to get to the blue trail, which will eventually take me alongside the river and around to the parking lot once again. That's what I'm going to do now. So, this way. Alright, here we are. We're approaching the edge of the trail. Now, as you see from this position, the trail that we would have taken leads all the way to the pavilions and the stuff that's all fenced off. Now, this does somewhat remind me of Sunnydale Park and its parking lot. So, what we'll do is we'll reverse course and go this way and try to get closer to the park's river. So I'll be back. I have about 6 minutes of footage left that I'm able to take. I'm just really reversing course, but there's the pavilion we came from. So we're aiming beyond it to get into the park this way. Okay, here's one of those intersection signs. Pavilion to Forest. Now maybe, just maybe, the Pavilion to Forest actually has washroom? Functional? No, probably not. I'll probably have to wait until the Point Claire Plaza. Wait! Even better. Porta potty. Okay, so we're gonna pause again. So I took a look at the map, and we do have to go on this trail after all to be on the proper side of the river so that we can get to the part that I remember from September of 20. This is part 3, assuming I can stitch it all together. Otherwise, next week it's going to be on Sean's Travels Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The 3 parts of Angrignon Park. But we know we're on the proper side of the river because it's on our right. So we're heading the right way. Pun. You can see the sign up there where we originally had to make our choice. Hold the camera steady. And there's the lily pond. There's a better view of the lily pond. And we have about 3.5 minutes worth of footage left of room on the phone, so I'm gonna be a bit sparing now. I know we're in the right area because I can see the rocks that I stood on to take a picture from the other side of the river. So according to the map, this is the orange trail. It'll link up with the blue trail a little further on. The blue trail will hug the river bank. There is a better view to prove it. The lagoon and the rock shelf among the trees. And there are the chaise lounge chairs overlooking the river that I remember seeing from that side. There's a better view of them. And there's a view of the lagoon across the river. And there's a giant willow tree overlooking the river. And some more across the way. I have about 2.5 minutes worth of footage left, so we'll get some pictures of what I'm facing. There is a good view. And there's under the willow tree There's another road sign thing. Angrignon Station is mentioned on it. Let's see if I can get around where the sun isn't in the way. There you go, that's better. So Angrignon train station's up. Doesn't look familiar in any way. Though I do see the yellow and orange trail markings, so I know I'm going the right way. Ah, now we're getting somewhere familiar. There's the road out there, the road from which the parking lot that I used exits. So we are getting close to the southern end, near the St. Lawrence Seaway. Finally, something familiar. Well, I was originally hoping this would be one long video. That depends on the computer space with Movie Maker. I've been cropping the Dropbox pictures to try and create more room. Otherwise, it'll be 3 parts, and we'll let the computer randomly pick the thumbnail. Or try to find a picture with a timestamp just after the timestamp of each video segment. And those can be the thumbnails for parts 1, 2, and 3. Alright, here's another sign post and another park map. This time, I think we're right there. I think we're right there. So we're just going to follow the river around till we get close to our other parking lot. We might run out of footage before we get there. So I'm going to get the good pictures now while I still can, like that one. Nice playground with netting in the difference. Don't worry, I'll zoom in that photo. There's a good one with the trees in the center of the creek. And looking back at the willows on the far bank. And the big park path field ahead of us. This is definitely familiar. I want to leave enough room to get photos from over there. Here's a photo this way. I guess that's all. Deleted a few more photos from my phone and folders I didn't need that were already backed up, so I can get pictures from the far end of the park, including what we're aiming for. So we're at the south end of the park now. You can see the pedestrian, well, if I zoom in, see, now you have 2 minutes of footage left. Okay, hold steady. Hold steady. There, pedestrian footbridge. So now we're rounding the corner. Not as quite a good view as long as the other one was. So you can consider this the bonus footage. There's the lily pad. Well, there's good news. I can see the parking lot from here, along a trail lined with lampposts. But I'm going to go, oh yeah, there's a good picture of those lampposts. So I am going, oh, and coniferous trees. I'll get closer for that. Well, why not get a picture of the coniferous trees with framing the lamppost? And there's what we're heading towards. But I'm going to go up on the central hill, get some pictures from up there. And of course, the tree grove near the river. All right, here we are on top of the hill. So there's the south road near the train tracks. There's what we're aiming towards, the parking lot. There's the grove that we saw and where we came from. So I'm going to walk down the hill now towards the path, get one last view of the path with the lampposts, and we'll finish the video. Alright, so here's one last picture of the lampposts and the path and everything, heading towards my car. There's a good view where we came from, and a little path through the woods. You can see a better view there.